Pull it up to the comedy skit.
Tooth.
All right, interesting. Ladies, keep this simple and please don't take it personal. It's because we're Blackest Panther. Is money the most important thing to whether a woman submits to a man? Yes or no? Let's go with this one with a raise of hands. Yes, if you think it is the most important thing to submit to a man, or no. So if you think it's a yes, money the most important thing to whether a woman submits to a man. If it's yes, raise of hands. Okay, I knew that was going to come.
No one's going to admit that.
Yeah, no one's going to raise their hand.
Has money in this
no one's going to admit that. If anyone, I'm sorry?
I said everyone's getting paid at this table. I don't think we're worried about money.
No, in a man though, like for example.
Yeah, for you to submit to a man.
Yeah, but I feel like everyone in this table, if they met a man that they liked, they would submit off of them liking them, not off of their money, because clearly everyone here has money. You know what I mean?
So you're telling me if the guy is homeless and they like him,
why would you? First of all, that's no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like right now, let's say me and you meet outside. I'm not gonna worry about your pockets if me and you start dating and we start liking each other. That's not gonna make me submit to you.
But is it a prerequisite, for example? Is it important to you?
No.
Yes. It is important. It's not the most important thing. So to the question, no.
So what is then?
Competency. Are you competent? Can you lead me? If you can lead me, then you can lead me. If you can't lead me, then you can't.
Okay.
All right. If anyone said no, I would like each one of them to name one thing they believe is a more important factor, Chris, to submit to a man. So all of you said no. So I guess you got to answer this question. You said competency, I guess, but we can start here and then work our way around. One thing they believe is more important factor to submit to a man. So what's yours? Because money isn't it then. So what is it?
Real quick, someone mentioned that she said that they're all getting paid. She meant from their job, not from us. Just a side note. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You misinterpreted that?
Yeah, someone said, "Oh, they're getting paid." Nigga, shut up.
Some niggas say.
You know the chat.
Come on, guys, low IQ. All right, go ahead.
Honestly,
she literally just said she's a real estate investor and has a fucking hair salon business. Come on, man.
Lashes, but okay.
All right, go ahead.
So what's more important to you?
Honesty.
So that is what will make you submit to a man? Him just being honest?
No, respect. Also,
it's one thing.
Oh, sorry.
Because you said money isn't the most important for you to submit. So what is the most important thing for you to submit to a guy? For you. One thing.
Think about this.
I would like to say, I don't know. I don't want to sound like actions speak louder than words. That's what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna like
action figure.
Like actions speak louder than words. Like in general, like in any situation you could ever think of, like.
So, just to summarize it for us, what would that be?
Are you trying to say if he's reliable?
Like not reliable. I mean, like I guess I'm sorry. Like I guess reliable, but like someone that you could trust, someone that you know that says they're gonna do something, they do it. Someone you know you could talk to.
That's reliable.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, reliable. I'm so sorry.
So he's reliable.
Yeah, she's 18.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Well,
Okay, you said competency. You stick with that answer?
Absolutely.
All right, what about you?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure.
What do you look for in a man that's most important?
That's not money.
Yes. To be able to communicate right, to understand me, to support me emotionally.
So a good communicator?
Yes.
But are you a good listener?
No.
Hey,
she's honest.
Self-improvement. At least she acknowledges herself, I guess.
Hey, at least she's ahead of the game.
That perfectly encapsulates
They're wicked.
modern women, bro.
Chris, you get it?
He's got to be a good communicator, but I don't have to be a good listener. Isn't that incredible?
You know, I mean, but you know what, Myron?
That perfectly encapsulates modern dating right there in that little exchange.
I mean, she has a lot on her mind, Myron. So you know.
No, I mean.
Chris, nah, nigga.
For
Too late.
example,
Too late, Chris.
W. Chris.
If I have a bad day,
Yes.
he will be able to understand me, not criticize me.
And refresh you, make you feel better.
All of that.
I understand her.
Fresh, she's the last one mocking speeches, man.
Nigga, no, I understand what you're saying, bro.
All right.
All right. What about you? What is the most important component, since money isn't it, for you to submit to a guy?
I just want my man to be like chivalrous. Like I want him to like be able to take care of me like emotionally,
in some ways, and I'll meet him halfway. You know, like I feel like relationships, it can be 50-50, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's like financial, if that makes sense. So I want my man to be kind to other women. Like I feel like it's gonna like radiate off of him as well. So that's the first thing I look for in a man, is that he's chivalrous.
Not height?
No, honestly, no. Swear to God.
So you'll submit to a guy that's 5'5"?
Okay, well, not that short, but like that's kind of unrealistic though. Like he's gonna be at my hip.
What position you
Okay, let's be honest here.
Lowest I'll go is 5'10".
Let's assume you meet a guy that's 5'6" and has the chivalrous traits you're looking for. Is he automatically disqualified because of his height?
Be honest.
Come on, Queen.
Don't
The
lie.
answer's probably yes,
Like
right?
honestly, but I'm 6'1". Like
I
it's
get that.
different. You know,
I get
it's
that.
a little bit different than it is for
I
other
get that,
girls.
but again, remember we said the most important
Important thing.
component.
You're right.
So it would be height then in your case,
Black
because
and
you
tall.
can have the good. See, and
Black and tall.
look, I don't want to say that I'm a female psychologist, but I kind of am, because I don't know if you've noticed, they're all operating. Fuck it, I'll just say it. They're all operating from the sense that attraction's already assumed.
Exactly.
They don't like whenever you ask girls what do you like, they're assuming the guy already meets the bare minimums. He's not homeless, he's not a weirdo, he's charming, he's good looking, etc. Then they add in, I need competency, or I need him to be reliable, or I need him to be a good communicator. But the reality is, there's a bunch of homeless niggas that are fantastic communicators that treat you like a princess. Which I don't want to talk to that guy.
Understood. Height.
That are competent.
Got it.
But you
Height.
choose to like be homeless.
But
Height would make you submit to a man?
no, but I mean, he kind of
It's no.
chivalry.
It's because she's talking about chivalry. The
But he's
problem is
saying-
that women, right?
Sorry.
That's what I've noticed with y'all. You guys start at 7. You don't go from number 1. So when I ask you a question about men, it goes, oh, well, I care the most. I'll give you an example. You gave competency, right? So not being a good dumbass. Fair. But you left out, he's got to be tall enough. He's got to be a good talker. He's got to be attractive to a degree. He's got to meet a certain height requirement, maybe a certain income requirement. Then the competency matters. But women, whenever we ask questions about attraction or arousal, you guys always automatically assume attraction. But the reality is a majority of men are not attractive to a majority of women.
Yes.
Oh, of course, but I guess it was the way that
the question.
I believe it was the way that the question was worded.
Well, we did
Right?
say most important component.
Yeah, to submission.
Yeah.
To submission. So
Like, yeah, I wouldn't submit to money, but I wouldn't
yeah, like
just submit to someone that I find attractive either. You know, someone can be attractive, but not have the personality traits you're looking for. Like someone can have money
So
and
what is
not
yours?
have the person.
So what is yours?
I would kind of bounce off hers.
Yeah,
a
but
little
the
bit.
attraction's got to come first before you
I
submit.
I can tell you
Yeah.
right
That's
now
what I'm trying to
that
say.
I think that I do think that you have to find someone physically attractive before you can actually get to know them. And
So then that's what we're trying to say. Like, we want the most important component. Because remember, attraction first, submission comes later on. So, like for her, he didn't even meet the height requirement, can't compete with the chivalry. He doesn't even get to display that trait. With you with competency, if he's not good looking enough, who cares how smart he is, right?
I mean, I've definitely dated guys that aren't my type, and I've definitely not submitted to men that I find insanely attractive. Because
Yeah,
I
that's
just,
what I was
if
saying.
I
Very
think
true.
you're an idiot, then I'm not submitting to you. That just goes against every fiber of my being. You could be Chris
But-
Brown if you're a fool. Well, you know what? I'm not going to go that extreme.
It's all that
Because
loyalty.
I'm not going to say that the man's incompetent.
So
He's
so
not.
for you, he could be 5'5", not attractive, but if he's smart, you're cool with that.
I've actually dated guys who are shorter than me. I'm 5'7", 5'5" is 5
Just because you dated him, that I'm talking about like, what would you accept now that you're older and wiser? Like, can they be 5'5",
Yes,
not
I've-
attractive,
I've
and just
done
smart?
that. Even as a
Okay.
younger girl, I've dated guys who are shorter than me, younger than me.
Okay, what about finances? They can
Finances
be
worse
broke
than
too?
me. I've done that before as well.
Okay.
Would you do
So-
it again?
Would I do it again?
Yeah.
To be honest, I find that a lot of men who aren't financially stable or where they feel like they should be, they're very miserable and therefore can be very abusive. So no.
Whoa.
Yes. Yes. Abusive. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so would it be fair to say then that money is one of the most important components then, because the finances directly relates to their behavior?
It can, but again, just because you have money doesn't mean that you're necessarily spending that money on me or that you have money to spend or whatever. If you, as a man, feel comfortable in your financial position, that doesn't automatically mean that you're going to spend money on me. I've dated men who are very well off and very cheap.
Really?
Absolutely. Who are very cheap. So
Describe cheap for me.
I'm talking cheap. Like he would dead ass go to STK, buy a steak and be like, babe, so what do you want from McDonald's? and be dead ass. I go and do groceries. I'm like, babe, I need you to come pick me up, and he's like, so you're gonna walk or like?
I mean, that's one thing.
Whoa.
Walking.
Yeah, walk. I'm talking walk with $700 worth of groceries. Like, babe, are you walking or?
What
like,
a cheap waste, man.
So, you just gonna throw that in there?
Yeah, just throw it in there.
Don't know, but you know, so I'm not gonna sit here and go from one extreme to the next. There's definitely duality, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that my experiences are the benchmark. But if in order to me, you have to be competent. I'm sorry, I can't.
All right, so that is your number one.
Has to.
I guess disqualifier if they don't meet it. Okay. What about you? For you, for her, it's height. Then keeping it real. What about you?
Honestly, mine's kind of security. Like, I feel like a man needs to be secure in himself. It ain't no money. Like I said, like I could be very attracted to a man and still not want him.
Okay, can you be specific in how do they be secure? Because that's a very, ambiguous term. So what do you mean secured in themselves? Can you give us an example of what that is?
I feel like they need to love themselves. Like insecurities can take over someone. And honestly, that's a big thing for me because I've been with people who feel...
Okay, can you give us a specific with like loving themselves? Because there's some guys that rub banana peels on their faces as a morning routine.
Yeah. Like,
yikes.
Saratoga. Yoga.
So how much do they have to, like, where is the, you know what I mean? Like, we got guys literally doing morning routines, like, with face tape and peeling banana peels on their face. Or there's guys that, like, haven't showered in 3 days. What do you mean by love themselves?
Like, I want to say confident in themselves. Like, if they feel, because I feel like I've been with people that they feel like, honestly, they're not good enough, if that makes sense. And it causes a lot of extra problems in the relationship.
She means what she's in the club, 3 or 4, she wants guys to sit home and think that she's being loyal, basically.
Hey, you gotta love each other. But if I was in a relationship,
I know how you get that conclusion, but
no, like
because you said insecure. That's
yeah, insecure. She's like, guys are insecure about her going outside or some shit like that.
No, not even that. Because I've been with men where they are okay with me going out and they don't care because they are secure in themselves. But it's also like,
I mean, they're fucking other girls, to be honest.
I like to do those things.
Yeah, it's
so
fine.
What?
Chris, chill this way. All right.
I was gonna say I'd further explain because it's like that is a great example of
secure
me going
themselves.
out.
All
Yeah.
right. What about you?
Loyalty. Like, you gotta be loyal. That's the only way I'm submitting.
Okay, and in what way? Are we talking through sexuality, through protecting you, through which way?
Well, I would say you gotta be like exclusively with me, so I guess that is sexuality.
Damn.
If you're loyal to me, I'll take that over anything. I'm submitting to that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, interesting. All right, what about you?
You gotta put up with me.
Yo,
I believe her.
That's
I believe her, bro.
That's a lot, man.
All right, what about you?
I'd be up 2 bands though.
I would say like vision and purpose. Like I have to like where you're trying to lead me and feel like you can execute it well, competently, like taking us to.
So similar to her. All right, can they be ugly and short and just be competent and be good?
Ugly and short.
Yeah, not necessarily handsome, but
yeah,
they're competent and a good leader. They're confident. Will you take that?
No.
Okay, so looks are the main, the main factor.
Why would you go for ugly and short and ability to lead if you could have handsome and tall and ability to lead?
Well, we're talking about the most important component, right? So
Most
we mean
important.
like the thing that is like what's required.
Yeah, you got 2 Lambos.
I think attraction plays a big part. Like what you were saying, like a lot of the ladies, are giving these answers after these other things are already assumed.
So for you, looks is more important than competency.
Yeah, looks are important.
Okay, so you did the same thing. You assumed attraction. That's
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because whenever I ask women this question, they always assume attraction, and then they
Yes.
kind of assume that he's already handsome, and then go from there and build from there.
Yeah.
But I think that's disingenuous because the majority of the male population is not attractive to the majority of the female population.
Mm-hmm.
Like if 10 guys approached you, what? You guys probably reject 9 out of 10 of them easily. Maybe 1 you might give your number. 2 when you're out and about.
I don't think looks should personally be the top of your list because we're all gonna get old and we're gonna when you age
How old are you again?
I'm 27.
Would you be okay with an ugly man that's loyal?
Oh, my baby daddy's ugly. I like ugly niggas. I'm not even gonna hold you. I like my man ugly.
Okay. So what was redeeming about him then? If he was ugly, why'd you stay with him for so long?
He was very smart, so he taught me a lot. Like my entrepreneur type of
What's his
situation.
profession?
So he owned like a bunch of like trucking and stuff. So I was like, I don't want to work the 9 to 5. So I was looking at him, and that's what basically made me want to go into like real estate and other stuff like
Interesting.
Okay. All right. And then the I guess what made you leave him was because he was cheating.
that. Yeah.
Damn, he was ugly too?
Shit happens.
Damn, about cheat on my
No, he
ugly
started
nigga?
getting his money up, so these bitches was like, let me pop that for him.
Newsflash: ugly niggas are the best cheaters. You know why?
Because you wouldn't think
You know what's
it.
Chris knows.
Yeah, Fresh knows. All right, Lambo in Paris.
Well, guess what? I like ugly men, so
Okay, Chris.
All right, shout out
that is
Fresh.
just that.
You got it, Chris.
Yeah. Keyword. She likes ugly men that have money.
Hey, I could teach a man how to make money.
How?
He has money already.
I will throw his ass in real estate school, honey. You gonna make some money today.
So someone else teaching
I mean, I'll talk tomorrow, man.
You know that sounds good on paper, but like what I've realized was your guy a millionaire? Your ex?
No.
He wasn't. Was he
Getting there?
Roughly, what was he earning per year? Roughly.
So he had a really gambling problem. So he would go play baccarat, and he could make $200K in one day.
Okay,
So-
but what was he earning? Like
job wise, like a good like $500K a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's in the 1% earners. What I've noticed with women, especially as they get older and they have kids, they can't go backwards socioeconomically. So in other words, the next guy you deal with is probably gonna have to make at least $500K, if not better.
Well, I wouldn't look at it that way because I don't want to get with somebody about like, I don't want to get with you because of your money. Like I'm straight.
Bro, stop the cap, bro.
Yo, who said I'm capping?
You're capping, bro.
Chris.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think in
Yo,
her
the
mind,
only ugly
you
person
forget
in here
that
is
this
talking
girl
shit.
said that she owns 6 properties?
They said it. I didn't say it. And they said it. I didn't say
Hey,
it.
listen. All right.
no, I understand that she has that.
You get one
she has
chance.
that. She has that property, and that's precisely why I'm saying she can't go backwards. So what I've realized with women, right? Okay, let me ask you this, then, so it makes more sense. As you've gotten older, have your standards went up in men? In other words, would you tolerate some of the stuff that you tolerated when you were 22 versus 32?
No.
Yeah, well, no,
right?
No, but I can definitely say I've regressed a couple times. But typically, like generally speaking, to answer the question, yes, I would say yes.
So your standards have increased as
Yes,
you've aged, right? You've
100%.
learned more about what you don't like.
Yes.
So you have a higher standard.
Yes.
Okay. So what I've realized is as women age and they earn more money, because typically as you age, you typically earn more money, right? Your standards go up alongside it. And the problem with women is when you guys make more money and become wiser, you increase your standards.
Problem? Okay.
Well, I'll tell you why it's a problem. As you age and make more money, doors close. So men that you might have found attractive and compatible mate 10 years prior no longer qualify.
I mean, I guess you could say so.
You said it yourself. You won't tolerate men that you might have tolerated 10 years prior, right?
Yeah, no, but I think it was more on intangible. My non-negotiables are more intangible. It's not more so financial, or like tangible things.
But you did mention earlier that their finances directly plays into their character and the way that they behave a lot of the times.
No, I said it can.
It can.
I've experienced both extremes, right?
Yeah.
That's why I said I can't say that my experience is the benchmark.
Yeah.
Like if I had only ever dated abusive men and were broke men and they were abusive, then I
Yeah.
could say that. But I've also dated men who are wealthy or at the very least comfortable.
Yep.
And they are also abusive.
Yep. But which abuse was worse, from the poor guy or from the guy that had money? Which abuse was worse in your opinion?
Jeez. I can't really equate abuse. I'm not gonna sit here and equate abuse because
what hurt more?
Yeah, what was more? Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't equate abuse because mental abuse is very painful and takes a very long time to heal from, and physical abuse is dangerous and very painful in the moment.
Were they both physically abusive? Or
No.
only one?
No, one was
The broke guy?
physically.
What hurt more?
That's what I'm saying. I can't equate the.
Okay.
Well,
you get what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
I
Like
think
physically
tangibly speaking, I would argue the physically the one that's more physical.
Yeah, no, tangibly yes, but I'm saying like the physical abuse I've more or less healed from.
Well,
the emotional and
but here's the
mental
thing.
abuse I haven't.
The men that have the money have more to lose, so that kind of keeps them in check a little bit, even though they might still be more negative with the verbal abuse or whatever. When you have money, you typically tend to be a bit more that's how you earn the money, by being more cautious, not being an idiot. So the guy that had less money, he was able to go ahead and, he had less to lose. But the point I'm trying to make is to bring this all full circle is, I know you're saying like money doesn't matter, but what I've noticed with women is that you guys are very good at like, I have a phrase. I say all women are gold diggers. Some are just better at hiding the shovel. Like, all of you guys are vested and interested in a man's capacity to earn. You might conceal it in things like competency, or be on the up and up and be loyal, or, be secure in himself. But a lot of times this ties always back to financial capabilities.